Let's begin now.
I came across a post
Mhm.
on social media that I wanted to bring here since
Mhm.
since you guys are just
Why are you
so
laughing?
because y'all like to hide behind the cross. Y'all are God
Mm.
fearing and
Why is it hiding behind the cross?
Yeah, we should be standing in front of the
well,
cross.
whatever. I wanted to read y'all this and I want to hear what y'all think.
Okay.
This is a letter to Brooke from her church.
Who's Brooke?
The girl from church.
Is that the one who got put out?
Yes.
What church?
I don't know. Some church in South Carolina.
Oh.
Well, let me hear
It's a letter to Brooke from her church.
Yes.
Okay.
Dear Brooke, this letter is to inform you that it was a unanimous decision at our business conference that your membership in our local church should and will be terminated. Since you refused to accept the letter that we sent you in November that outlined the reasons for this action, I will briefly review them here. You initiated the separation in your marriage to blank without good cause, stating that you wanted to begin a relationship with another man. It seems you have no desire to keep your family together, and that has caused a great deal of hurt to you, your husband, your children, and many others. This is being unfaithful to the marriage vow you took before God. Number two, you have continued to post many unchristian-like things and even indecent pictures and messages on various social media sites over the past months. You've also been very negative and critical of many of our church family. I believe to try and take the attention off of your real issues, which you keep denying. And number three, you have refused counsel or advice from your husband, your pastor, and many of your close church family who really care for you and have tried to help you. Brooke, contrary to what you tried to convince us, you are not in a good place right now.
What's wrong?
So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So they terminated her membership at the church,
Mhm.
and they gave her a refund from her last.
Oh, yeah.
They gave her check back, which I think is I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, react. Many people
So
say
she can't go back in the church?
no. Let me lay the the groundwork. Many people say that the church has gotten soft over the years, especially the Baptist church. Now we can run amok, do what we want. That is why some say men don't come to church,
I've heard that.
and men typically don't come to church by themselves, and they'll only come if they're with a woman, typically. Um, so we had this letter from Pastor so and so. I don't know who he was from the church that is terminating Brooke's membership for.
Who put that on that?
She did.
She is.
Oh, okay.
Terminating her membership for the reasons stated.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I agree with it
Why?
because they did what they had to do. So if you have a fault, remember, you go and talk to the church, right? You get counsel, whatever. So they take all the measures. If everything they're saying is true, they took all the measures for her to rectify and like to come back to, her foundation. She's basically fornicating, right? Because she's still married. I
Well,
think
adultery.
right? I'm sorry. She's still because she's still married, right? And then she's doing all that stuff online, and they're just upholding the biblical principles. So she got it. She's not changing her behavior, so now she has to leave the church. The church turns away. They say it in the Bible.
And they say she's turning on the church other people inside the church too. You said something about that?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, so she doesn't want counsel. She doesn't want help. She doesn't want. I mean, where else? I don't know what Brooke wants to do now.
Well, do you agree with the church terminating her membership?
Yeah,
If they don't want to accept that kind of behavior, what's wrong with it? We'll fire somebody at their job.
Mm.
Who was that?
I mean,
Can you elaborate on that?
If they
that
don't want
analogy?
to, if they don't want to accept that, if they're saying that they're not accepting that behavior, and they know about it, and it's visibly out there, we're willing to work with you to help you be better. We're willing to sit down. We're willing to go to counsel. And you're rejecting everything. You're rejecting everything that we're offering. We're trying to help you, and you're going the extra mile to prove that you don't want to help. And I also say that they're not afraid to let her go. They're not afraid. We don't need your money.
They gave her money back.
Yep, we
and,
don't.
And it says,
Yeah.
it says, if you have a fault with your brother, leave your money at. Don't leave it. Like leave the altar. Like we don't. It's the money isn't worth anything. That's why I always been big on that whole tithing thing in the New Testament, because everything is about the heart posture. A lot of things about the heart posture. It's like keep your money. Go fix it. Is about loving your neighbor. Always be in a space of love. It's Matthew 18:15-20, dealing with sin in the church. If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take one or two others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen, even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. She has to get out the church because she's not.
And we act like that. Okay, oh, the church, they're so wrong. They're so wrong. But we keep accepting everything that everybody does. You know, where do we stand the ground? Where do we make a decision? Where do you let people? You know, I never thought it was right to just like let people do what they want to do.
So what I got from this is, one, her posting it.
She's the victim.
Right, exactly. I think her posting it was trying to expose the church.
But she exposed herself, didn't she?
In the process, you end up exposing yourself. The greater conversation I would like to briefly have, if you guys would allow me, is...
Sure. Put your phone down, Shannon.
I'm looking up the Leave Your Money scripture. Go ahead.
Is where does the church draw the line, and where do the people draw the line?
Who's the people?
The members. This is what I mean. Because one could say, like, we can go through this litany of things the church tried to do to help her out. So, is it only okay that they excommunicated her because they tried step 1, step 2, step 3? What if step 1 is just so? What if the offense is just so egregious that you just have to go? Do you ever think there's a time where that is appropriate?
Yeah, I think a lot of churches do their due diligence in like investigating first. So like even the pastors that have those accusations against them with like having sex or just inappropriate relations between the members or children, they don't. It typically seems like you got to sit down, then we investigate. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's like they do their process and try to determine what's true and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Like with Brooke, it seemed like hers was probably just obvious. You know, she has a family and she's not in a relationship with a man anymore.
And it seemed like her husband wants her.
Yeah, like that.
From from what she putting out there is like, but you know,
she got a new man.
And well, draw the line where the people draw the line. This is what I mean.
But the people in the pews or
the church.
The church.
Well, the church members.
Right. This is what I mean by that. Like, in Brooke posting that, she's trying to expose the church, but she's also saying, without saying, my nigga, it is all this hoot nanny going up in here, and you worrying about me and my little.
How you know she's saying it?
That's what she said.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
That's what I call discernment.
Okay, so you're discerning
she's saying, because there's no other reason to put that out there other than one to try to expose this is what my church is doing to me, to play the victim. But the letter is clearly stating that she's at fault.
Right.
But she's also communicating something else, which I believe is it's a lot of other mess going up in here.
Well,
why you putting me out?
Why didn't she put that up there? Right. Why didn't she write that and say that? Because we can't know what she's saying. If that's what she's saying, why don't she write it? Well, but here's the deal: everybody can't do everything. What somebody else might get away with.
And that's the greater conversation.
Yes, everybody can't get away with everything. Some people can get away with stuff where others can't.
So I can cheat on my wife, but you can't. Is what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that nobody in God's eyes, it's exposed. It's out there. So did God convict them? It's out there to do this. This is a step that's being taken right now, where you may be cheating on your wife and nobody might not know about it.
Right.
Right. That's what. Okay. So it's levels to.
Yeah.
Right.
She's sloppy with it. Like she's
yeah. You're even putting yourself on Front Street.
Right.
Like you don't.
Right.
You have no
and
shame.
and they say something about she putting indecent pictures and
Oh,
stuff.
right,
She has no
right, right.
shame.
Right.
She's doing a lot of stuff.
That's why I asked.
And does she have children?
Where do you draw? That's why I asked about drawing the line. We're drawing the line here with you because you doing too much.
Well, she's not doing enough because they're giving her opportunity.
He said she's doing too much wrongful stuff.
Like you just
out there.
You just running amok.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I'm like, they're not putting her out because she's doing too much. They're putting her out because she's not trying to come back.
Right, because she's not.
Yeah.
But she's also, but you're doing a lot.
But they're giving her grace, and
I'm
she's
agreeing
refusing.
with you.
She's refusing help.
Yeah, she's refusing help.
So if the drummer had a baby out of wedlock with the praise and worship leader,
should they both be set down?
should they both be set down?
I think so.
Should they be put out?
Put out? I don't know if
Well, if they offering them help now,
Yeah,
if they offering them, if they taking the same route and saying, okay, we want to give y'all some counseling and we want to do this, if they are accepting the help, you don't know, they're setting them down. They're setting them down for a season
because they're leaders. See, that's the thing that I think as far as leadership is concerned, you're leading in sin. Like it's not that they don't have the grace to give to. I don't think it's like not giving them grace, but this is your role, and now you're outside of that position, so you can't be here. This is what y'all doing.
And here's another thing. Let me ask: if you start sitting everybody down, you ain't gonna have no church.
So that's
you want to sit everybody down.
That's what I'm getting at.
No, because you want to sit everybody down.
Which is why I think the church doesn't rule with that iron fist. Which is why people say the church has gotten soft.
But how about what people, so to your point, the softness, and they will be putting everybody down because they are so soft, maybe that's why people are just doing whatever. If there was a higher standard that people were...
What I'm talking about is that everybody falls short. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta draw a line. You should draw a line. You should say, okay, we're not going to accept this. And if you do something, we want to counsel you. We want to help you to become better. And I don't think everything should be on one person. I think that you should have a body of people, so to speak, that can help in these areas. That can counsel and all this stuff. Because one man or one woman can't do all this stuff. So you need to have people that's trained in areas to be able to help.
Isn't that like the elders and all that for?
Right. And then if people don't want to do right or do better, then there is a course that you take. Okay.
And when I say the lead, like let's say the worship leader and the other lead, the drummer, I feel like the worship leader, I don't even know if I feel like they need to be set down versus you can't lead anymore. So you can still worship, you can still sing, because I'm sure there are other women that could, or men that are up in the thing singing that may not be married with children. So it's not that you can't be a part of worship anymore, like you can't, but you can't resume in that position. That position is really a coveted position. It's when you're a pastor or you're in leadership, like in the church, it's hard. It's hard to live up to, and they're going to be held even more accountable than we are because they're the ones standing, like they are representing it. They're representing it. So it's just hard. So it's like, and so when we were talking about earlier, I was like, well, maybe some churches need to do certain things. If y'all noticing a trend with certain things in churches, maybe the church is out of order. You know what I mean? Like maybe the church is operating in ways that isn't biblical. And I don't think that people are used to people like churches upholding biblical standards. I really think that's just it. And so now she thinks that she's gonna put them out there, but then what did they do wrong? You're the problem. You're your own problem, and now they're treating you like a pagan and a tax collector.
Okay.
And your taxes.
I just thought it was interesting. And just wanted you guys, since you guys, well, we all are, not just y'all, God-fearing, and we all.
You ain't sometimes the way you were talking, like, what in the world's going on here?
Uphold the Christ-like way. I do though think, because when you get into that bag of punishment and sitting down, and it's a slippery slope.
What you mean?
I go back to my point, which is why I think she was putting the letter out there. Like,
yeah,
y'all got a nerve to sit me down and.
But okay, but.
And Deacon Smith sleeping with.
What is she learning by doing that? Where is she changing? My first thought, if I did something wrong and I'm being addressed for my wrongdoing, so now I'm gonna go out there and put everybody else out. Where am I learning that? Where am I learning to become better? Where am I growing in my faith? All I can see is that, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but you ain't said nothing to Shannon over there. You know, okay. But maybe if I change my wicked ways, Shannon over there can see me change and she'll change. But we always looking at what the next person is doing opposed to looking at us. What's the Bible scripture say that you can't see what's going on for the thorn in your eye or something? Yeah, I mean, I gotta look at me in the mirror. I gotta look at me. I can't look. I gotta the straight and narrow path that God has me on. I want to be better. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Help me, God, to be better. Convict me so that I can be a better person and not talk about the other person. Because if I talk about you, and that means I'm not addressing my own issues. I'm not addressing the fact of whatever I'm doing. I'm so busy over there in your household that I ain't even looking at me. Oh, you see how she act? You see what she doing? Bump that noise. Do you want to be better, bro, or not?